Basketry is used for all sorts of things in daily life in native California. For instance, for serving food, for gathering food, preparing food. People would make basketry hats to wear. They'd make basketry cradles for their babies. They'd make trays that they would use for gambling, and some baskets were even used in ceremonies.
Back in the day, they used to use these baskets and boil water in them. And how they did that was they would put asphaltum on the bottom, so that way the water wouldn't seep through. So they would get the water warm on hot rocks and then put them in the baskets.
No matter where you are in the world, the baskets that you make are going to be made with your local materials. So whatever is in your environment is going to be in your baskets. So here in Southern California, there are three primary materials that are used. And the first item is juncus, and juncus is a reed, and it grows very, very tall. It grows in marshy areas. And with juncus, it's used for two things. It can be split into thirds and then used as the stitching material, also known as the weft. And among the Chumash of Southern California, 3 pieces of juncus will be used as the interior of a basket, and that's called a 3-rod foundation. Second material we have is sumac, and sumac is a bush. And it's picked, it's peeled, you can see on this bottom area, the peeled area, and then this is split in half and it is also used for weaving. And the third material is called deer grass, and it's actually the stem, the seed stem of a deer grass plant. And this is used not by the Chumash, but the rest of Southern California use this as a bundle for a foundation on the interior of a basket. So these are the primary materials used in Southern California, that from the Chumash territory all the way south into Baja California. A lot of material is used in making a basket. It needs to be gathered and prepared. There are many steps involved.
By looking at a basket, if you've ever seen one, the intricate work they do and the gathering that they have to do first. It doesn't just start with sitting down and putting a basket together. They have to gather first. They have to give an offering when they remove the plant from the earth, which they usually do. So that's a whole ceremony in itself.
This is an old basket tray, probably from the early 1800s, and it has attributes of Chumash basketry and of neighboring tribes. This is from the southeastern edge of Chumash territory, where the Chumash come into contact with the Tongva and Tataviam people. And this basket is a good combination of some of those different attributes. For instance, Chumash basketry, the foundation is a coil of 3 rods of juncus, and you can see that here. But how they treat their ends, their stitching ends, is different. The Chumash make clipped ends, which you can hardly see. The Tongva and Tataviam use something called the bound under fag end stitch, and it's when they've got their little weaving element and it's tucked under. It makes this little diagonal spot. And you can see these all over. Now this basket is woven of sumac, which is this light color, and the dark color is juncus that has been dyed black. And juncus can be dyed with California walnut is a good stain for that. Another way to do it is to bury it in iron-rich mud, and it makes a nice black color. So when the edge is damaged like this, it indicates use. Another thing with Chumash basketry is they have a primary band design along the rim, and that's missing here. We don't know how big this basket would have been originally. This is a basket bowl which could have been used for food, and the donor's records indicate that it's from between 1860 and 1880. And like the other basket from the edge of Chumash territory, I believe this one is as well, except for in this case, it's from the northeastern edge. The Fort Tejon Indian Reservation was established with the Treaty of Tejon in 1851, and the Chumash and neighboring tribes were all there together. So you had members of the Chumash, the Yokuts, Kitanamek, and Kwaisu. And so when you bring cultures together like that, again, you're going to have a mix of attributes in the basketry, and that's what you can see in this basket right here. It has the 3-rod juncus foundation, which is seen in Chumash basketry. And although you don't like to see breaks in baskets, the fact that we have stitches missing verify. You can look right there and you can see the 3 rods. That's Chumash. The other thing is they have the clipped weft ends. They don't have the little diagonal bound under ends. These are clipped off so you can't see them. So those are very Chumash characteristics of basketry. But the rest of this basket looks more like Yokut. And the Yokut peoples live down in the San Joaquin Valley. And their basketry, they use sedge root, which is this background material here. And then the design, we have red bud, just a single band of red bud that runs along. And then the black design is bracken fern root. And this design also is named, the Yokuts call this design Flight of the Butterfly. This oval basket is done in the Southern California mission style. In native California, people were taken to missions and distinctions were often lost. So this type of basketry extends from the edge of Chumash territory south into Baja California. The foundation, which you can't see, the interior of this basket is deer grass. The exterior is juncus, kind of this golden color. The whitish color in the design is sumac, and the black is juncus that has been dyed black. This is probably a Cahuilla basket, and it was probably made in the early 1900s till about 1940, at the time when weavers were making baskets specifically to sell. And partly we know this because of the shape. This oval shape is not a traditional shape at all. And also the really bold patterns that you can see here appealed to buyers. And so things like these bright circles that are outlined, and then this, which is a scorpion design. It's typical of something that you would want to put in a basket because that's what people want to buy, is the interesting ones.
Well, we were proud to host the Basket Weavers Association here a few years back, quite a few years back when we first opened. And it was wonderful to see how it was done, because not being a basket weaver myself and not being around anybody that was growing up or ever until I started studying it on my own, it was very informative and very interesting for us to see the women sitting out there weaving those baskets. And they're currently now at San Ynez Indian Reservation have a basket weavers class that they do, and I believe even maybe Santa Barbara does, but it's nice because the next generation of Chumash people, Tataviam people, are learning this wonderful trade.